In Chapter 4, you learned about four types of transformations or ways of changing a figure on a coordinate plane. Three of those were what were called rigid transformations. The other, a dilation, changed the actual figure to a different size. We're going to be working on this performance task with rigid transformations, meaning that the shape and size of the original figure will always remain the same. We're going to use three types of those transformations. A translation, which moves something up and down, much like you see the six-sided blue figure on the tessellation here. It's just moved to different locations. We're going to work with the reflection, which is creating a mirror image across some line. If you look at some of the figures, you might see them as being a reflection of each other over certain points. And we're going to work with the last type is a rotation, which moves something around a certain point or a focal point. We're going to be creating a composition of transformations, meaning we're going to have all of our figures on one coordinate grid, starting from an original and then moving from one to the other. And with that, we're going to get going here. So we're going to use 5 different transformations. So the first thing you need to do is draw an original figure. We're going to call that your treasure chest. You don't have to use the example here. They used a quadrilateral. You can use a triangle. You can use an octagon, pentagon, whatever you want to do. Just start with your original figure. Draw and label it. All of the vertices where lines meet should be labeled. Okay, then you're going to transform that figure 5 times. You must use at least one translation, one reflection, one rotation, and you cannot use two that are identical. So each transformation should be applied to the previous one, and I'll talk about that in a little bit when I talk about tips. We're going to graph everything on one paper, so that's something you want to think about is how things are going to fit on a paper. You're going to create a written explanation that describes each transformation in specific rules, so you can see like the rule translated 3 units left and 2 units up tells you where it goes, reflected over the line y equals x, rotated 90 degrees about the origin. If you need help with these rules and things like that, you can use in Canvas the course materials that are prior to the videos in the Canvas. We'll show you how these rules work and how you might find new coordinates based upon the rules that you apply. You're going to explain how you find the new coordinates after each transformation. And finally, the last thing is there's a pirate message that gives you a little bit of a chance to be creative, challenge your crew to reverse the transformations to find your original spot. So this, again, the requirements: one translation, one reflection, one rotation, exactly 5 distinct transformations. None can be repeated. Show all your work on graph paper, including the original figure and all 5 of your transformed figures. Um, in the book, you'll notice that they used a prime method to designate new figures. So if you start out with a point that is A, after you first transform it, then it would be A prime. And if you transform that, that would be A prime prime. That would be a good way to label your figures on your graph, but you can use another way if you can make sense of it. You're going to give clear step-by-step written instructions of your process. Be precise in this, making sure that you have that same shape that you started with throughout that. Again, no stretching or shrinking, which is a dilation. So here's some tips to help you complete this. Again, as I've said in all things, start with looking at the rubric to see how things are going to be evaluated. My suggestion is plan it out a little bit ahead of time, maybe do a scratch paper or something. Um, Say you start with an original figure here, and say I want to move it up here, that would be a translation. Let's say I want to reflect it across that line, y equals 0, or x equals 0, excuse me, and say I want to rotate, and that would actually be down here somewhere. Say I translate straight up, and then rotate again back into this area or over there. It doesn't matter, but just plan out a little bit so that number one, you know where you're going to go, you know what you're going to do. Number two, you have room to show things on your graph paper and not get cluttered up, so that would get you in a bit of a mess. Be specific on your rules for each one. Say where you reflected, what the rule for translation was, how far, how many degrees you rotated and around what point. You want to make sure your graph is clear and labeled. Again, write down what you do, and then again, be creative on your pirate message. As you go through this, there are some things to think about that might be a common pitfall. The first big thing is some people might use the original figure and then transform it 5 times. Remember that you're going to transform the original figure to a new figure, and then you're going to transform that new figure to a new figure. So you're always going to be starting with the last one or the previous one. Remember that you can't use identical rules or transformations. So if you rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise once, you can't rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise again, no matter where from. Make sure you have at least one of each type of transformation, and that you have clear instructions of the translations. Be specific, label, document everything. Communication is a big thing in this task. Being able to make sure that people who look at your original figure can follow how you got to the final figure. And again, with the pirate's message, find some way to find their way back to from the treasure to the original figure. Look at the rubric. Ask questions of me if you need anything. Remember, all tools and supplies we have available in the classroom.